So, I wasn't going to make a video today. It was not in the plan. We released episode 3 with High Voltage Scott Perkins, and we released episode 2 this week, and then this happened. Is that Jon Moxley? Holy shit, that's Jon Moxley. So, if you didn't know, before he was Dean Ambrose in WWE, he was Jon Moxley, and he was a hardcore legend. I mean, this guy, I can't even describe. If you've never seen the Jon Moxley era, go watch his stuff in CZW. Go watch his Tournament of Death stuff. Uh, what you saw in WWE, the Lunatic Fringe, that wasn't even scratching the surface of how crazy this man can be. I just thinking about it, some of his stuff is actually too far. I love it. I love every minute of it. So Dean is dead. Jon Moxley is back. Now, let's start with the elephant in the room. Hopefully, this is not a WWE swerve. This is not a rebranding or a repackaging of Dean Ambrose into Jon Moxley. I don't think it is, just because I don't think that WWE would use these kinds of images. There's blood, there's barbed wire, there's hardcore, there's deathmatch, and that's not WWE's image, unless out of left field, right field, whatever field you want to be in, they are going to be moving to a more mature brand with the move to Fox. I doubt it. It's probably not going to happen. This is a 1% kind of thing. The rest of it could be anything. Is Jon coming back to the Indies? Is Jon signing with Impact? Or I'm sure you've heard it all day. AEW. We had the dice. The dice said 25. Double or Nothing's on May 25th. Maybe. We had the cigarette butt on the ground. Is he facing Joey Janela because Joey Janela smokes? These are all things that I've seen on Twitter today, and maybe they're true, maybe they're not. I don't know. I guess the only people who know are Jon Moxley, Cody Rhodes, Joey Janela, whoever is involved with whatever is next for him. I'm excited. So we'll start with the easy one. We'll start with AEW. Does Jon Moxley sign with AEW? Is Jon Moxley a good fit for AEW? Because right now, we've got Jimmy Havoc and Darby Allin, who are both deathmatch wrestlers. Is AEW going to have kind of a hardcore division? Are we going to see deathmatch style matches in AEW? Someone who I'm blanking, I apologize. I'm blanking on Twitter. We had a brief conversation about, AEW should play to their performers' strength. If they've got high flyers, let them fly. If they've got deathmatch wrestlers, take down the ropes, throw up some barbed wire, let them do what they do. Play to the strengths of your performers. Don't try to pigeonhole them or shoehorn them into a mold that maybe doesn't fit who they are as a performer. Jon Moxley leading a more of a hardcore side of AEW could be something really fantastic. Could be a lot of fun. Maybe it's something that people haven't seen from him before. Once again, go check out the Jon Moxley stuff of the past. It's messed up, and I love it. I don't see him going to Impact, but weirder things have happened. I mean, Impact has been building their roster, and they've been rebuilding their brand after the downfall of TNA, as it were. I don't know if Moxley would be a good fit for them. I don't see him being an Impact guy. AEW for sure. Impact, I don't know. Ring of Honor, maybe. I mean, their roster's really, really light right now, for names at least. Maybe Moxley could fix that. Once again, I don't see it. New Japan. Does John go to Japan and wrestle for New Japan. Once again, I don't see it happening. I think for the big promotions, AEW is kind of that place that would be a good fit for him, because it sounds like they would let him do what he does. Now, the last, place that he get in is just the indies. Do the circuit again. Going back to CZW, maybe doing GCW, maybe doing Beyond Wrestling. Come on, Drew, do that for us. It's probably really expensive, I'm sure, but still, I would love to see him in a Beyond Wrestling ring. I would love to see him in a GCW ring. I'd love to see him back in CZW, maybe surprise entrant to Tournament of Death this year. These are places that I can see him going and seeing him thriving. I remember listening to a shoot interview with him from a couple of years ago. I think it was Art of Wrestling with Colt Cabana. I could be wrong on that, but he talked about at one point he got home after being on the road and he just had title belts scattered around his apartment because he was just champion everywhere, because that's how good he was, and maybe moving off topic for a second, but I'm seeing a lot of people saying like, oh, good, thank God he's out of the thumb of the evil corporation of WWE and they're not holding him back anymore. Holding him back, he had a Hall of Fame worthy career with WWE. I mean, this guy held tag titles. He held the US title. He held the WWE Championship. He was part of arguably the most popular faction of the past 15, 20 years with the Shield. All of those guys are main eventers, and maybe Ambrose was handled a little worse than the rest of them. But come on, man, this guy, he did great things in WWE. It wasn't like this guy was sitting in the back. It wasn't like this guy was, Adam Rose or I don't know, Leo Rush. Not that anyone really cares, but he was used properly. And by the end, yeah, all right, the lunatic fringe character was kind of played out. But it's funny because right before he left, he started really embracing the character, and we kind of had a new version, more of an aggressive, while still slightly goofy version of the lunatic fringe character. And Ambrose was, is he a heel? Is he a face? Is he with the Shield? Is he against the Shield? And I actually liked that. I thought it was a little weird that his send-off on Raw was just getting squashed by Lashley. But I liked the whole bit about Lashley calling out Renee Young and stuff like that. And I thought it was really entertaining. But I was like, this is his last match on Raw, and he doesn't even get a match. He just gets put through the announce table, and we move on. And then they had the network special, the final ride of the Shield or whatever it was. I didn't watch it, unfortunately. If you remember back in episode 2, I said I needed a break, and I'm taking that break. I'm keeping up, I'm watching, but this is exciting because if this is a repackage for WWE, I'm worried but happy because it could be a step in the right direction. Once again, that's the 1%. The other 99%, I think, is the indies or AEW. I'd love to see him at Double or Nothing. I'd love to know when I can watch, or where I can watch, rather, Double or Nothing, because I still don't have a firm answer on that one, but maybe you do. Maybe you can put it in the little comments below. Do some YouTube stuff right down there. But yeah, Jon Moxley, he's back. I'm excited. The matchup, the dream matchups are endless. I mean, Moxley versus Callahan, Moxley versus Darby Allin, Moxley versus David Starr. I mean, these matches are crazy. Joey Janela, God, just watch him beat the shit out of MJF. I mean, there's so many different match types or matchups that we could get with Moxley now that he's back, outside of the corporate thumb of WWE. This is crazy. Like, I'm really excited. We'll talk about this more, hopefully, on the podcast. I'm sure we will. But thank you for joining me. This, like I said, this is kind of thrown together really quickly, but Jon Moxley, Dean is dead. We'll see what happens next. So thanks for joining us, guys. like, subscribe, all that happy horse crap. You know how YouTube works at this point. So we'll talk to you soon. We'll see you later.